awkward time in between being live and Instagram. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. And we are live everywhere. Oh, God.
We
I'm
are.
hearing somewhere. Found it.
Wait, why come?
I fixed it. Oh, now Jessie's gone.
I'm here.
Well, we're live. Oh, we're back. Hey everybody! One day we're gonna figure out that that loading, that starting thing. We're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna look cool on that day. Today's not the day. Welcome to episode number 100, which is one more than 99. It's 50 more than halfway there. Of Sawdust Talk. First episode of 2024. Also, it feels very poetic. Really loving that. But welcome. Thanks for hanging around with us for 100 episodes. So, in case you are on episode number 1, my name is Braden. I'm with Little Bug Woodworking. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, and I make stuff. I just make whatever I want. So, that's what I do. Kimani, what's up, bud?
Hey. I'm Kimani with Band Street Designs. I'm in Tacoma, Washington, and I make more stuff than Braden does. We do laser, CNC, epoxy, trying to learn silicon molds, 3D printing, you name it. I've at least tried it, except for lathes, because lathe people are scary.
I don't know one single lathe guy I like.
I mean,
Me neither.
They're a little out there. Jessie?
I'm Jessie. I am of Building Jessie, and I am actually in Bellingham, Washington, so I'm not far from this guy right here. I think he's right here.
Yep.
I do pretty much a little bit of everything too. CNC, I have a laser. My content has been very solely about home renovation this past year, so that's kind of been my strong point of content has been my house. TJ.
Wait, you remodel?
I remodel. I do have a little episode thing going on right now, so but there will be more to that.
Very cool. I am TJ with TJ2 Workshop. I am in St. Louis, Missouri. This year marks at least 30 years of woodworking and making for me, which is crazy to wrap my head around. Lately, most of the stuff that I do involves putting wood onto a lathe and spinning it round, but we did some flat work for Christmas this year, which is fun. Welding, 3D printing, I don't know, you name it, I've probably stuck a toe in it at one point in time. So, yeah, good times to be had by all.
What a weird way to say that. You stuck a toe in it?
Yeah, I tested the water.
You shouldn't be sticking toes and things like that.
You stick your toe in the pool to make sure it's not too cold, buddy. Same idea.
No, you yeet yourself straight in as fast as possible. Get it over with. The good
Full
or the
yeet.
bad.
Full yeet.
As the kids say, no cap.
No cap. It's gas. Somebody hit the gritty, whatever that means.
Okay. All right. We're losing viewers. We're losing.
Well, before we get started, we want to throw out a special thanks to our sponsors who have tolerated with us. They've tolerated us and stuck with us. Both those things combined. Surf Prep Sanding and George Supply Co. They are fantastic. If you need to sand something, Surf Prep is the only way to do it. My life was changed for the better when I got my Surf Prep sander, and yours can change too. I will remember. Nope. But yeah, so we appreciate that. What's that?
I said sanding sucks less or more.
Sanding sucks less with Surf Prep Sanding. I think they should get a t-shirt with that on it. But all right, guys. Well, this is the first episode that we haven't had like a guest that we immediately start trying to learn about a while. So, episode 100. Why don't we kick this off with looking back? We're going to take a blast to the past. What do you guys think? Like some of our best guests have been, or like some of the most fun episodes that we've done so far.
Right off the bat, I'm gonna say Jimmy DeResta.
Jimmy DeResta was fantastic.
Jimmy DeResta was awesome. Mark Spagnuolo was really cool for me, and then he ended up moving just to the outside of my town and has had a couple of wood sales and stuff like that. So it's been kind of cool to go see him in person after doing the interview. That was really cool.
I think it's really cool that some of the people that we, entertain as guests on the show, that we actually do get to see these people in real life. And some of us have even like been to their workspaces, like Jimmy DeResta. Like some of us have actually been to his workspace, which is really cool. I think my favorite, and I might be a little biased, but having Hannah on was really fun for me last year.
It's always a ton of fun.
Hannah was my number one.
It's always fun hanging out with Hannah. She's such a riot.
She's like a walking ray of sunshine.
Uh-huh.
Well, the best part with her is okay, so this just happened. So I was talking to her about this episode last week, and she said, "Oh yeah, hey, don't let me forget, email me that." And then today she texted me about, and she's like, "Hey, you should have my cell phone. Why are you not texting me? Why'd you email me?" I'm like, "You told me to do that. This was all you. What do you want from me? Pick one."
She's a busy lady. You got to get her in the right place at the right time.
Well, I think I caught her like during their shutdown too. So I think she was doing the smart thing and trying to not work, and I was ruining that. But
This is true.
I really enjoyed Justin Bailey not last week, 3 weeks ago.
Never heard of him.
He's fine. But yeah, I think Jessie, I think you nailed it on the head. It's cool getting to have an environment where we talk about and talk to people that we've like met before. So, and also being able to see Jimmy DeResta shop was dope.
Yes. Already saw Jimmy shop.
Yeah,
Everybody,
from
Kimani.
Woodworkers Guild also, that was a really fun episode just because he still shows up in my YouTube ads, right? And so it's really fun when he's like, join the Woodworkers Guild, right? And it's like, hey, like I had a fireside chat with that fella.
So TJ, you've been with Sawdust Talk the longest, obviously.
Indeed, yeah.
How has it been watching the podcast change?
Okay, so in the beginning, Sawdust Talk was Instagram dorks desperately searching for other people to geek out about woodworking with, because locally it's kind of hard, and most of our peer groups that aren't our woodworking friends, right? We can latch on to a woodworking topic and our friends will just kind of like smile and nod and let us work out to the end. But Instagram sort of introduced, I think, a lot of us to this universe of other people with whom we could geek out and talk about technical stuff and get stoked about new tool days. And it's just been a really fun sort of watching everything grow from the early days of Canada Jeff forgetting that he had pizza delivered to his house because of reasons, and Rai the wood guy asking everybody if woodpecker's tools are good or whether they're worth the money, or hand tools or power tools. You know, like those were the early days. But the show sort of transitioned from direct product placement and what are you using and why are you using it to who are you? Like, what are you about? Why are you here? And, what's the story? And I think that that's been a really, really cool thing to watch sort of blossom.
Is it better with without Ed Mancini?
I don't think that the show would be what it is today without Ed's influence. I think during the days of our most epic and heated Instagram Live audience chats and the bombardment of endless questions, no, he brings a really special something to the show. It might be an aroma, it might be a level of intellect and prestige, but it's something.
I only ask that because he's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Ed's a pretty special guy. Like, I think that it was a very cool thing from this year. With Sawdust Talk is that, like, Braden, I didn't even know you at the beginning of the year. I mean, we've become like really fast friends over the last year, and it was really cool getting to like actually spend time with you this year. So I don't know. It's always a fun way to kind of, bring new faces in where it's like I might know somebody really well that you guys don't know, like Jenna 2 weeks ago. Jenna, I'm like, I've met this girl, I've talked to her. I don't know if you guys know her, but she's cool, and then you get to know her too. So that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was always kind of the cool thing about this podcast and about doing it live. And this is, I mean, it's one of the things that drew me to it was it's not just how many followers you have, and it's not just how much clout you have like in the community, but we've always been a platform for introducing a lot of smaller accounts to the community and helping them connect and growing things. I mean, Mike Suter was doing his woodworkers versus cancer thing like just by himself, and then he came on the show and it turned into this big thing that a bunch of people got involved in, and we hit $11,000 for St. Jude's this year. And we got to play a part of that. That was really cool.
But yeah, I think I just love that it's like such a convenient place to geek out about woodworking stuff, right? Because it's like it's one thing to beat your chest, when you're at Thanksgiving dinner with your family, right? And be like, look at this cool thing that I did or what have you. But your woodworking friends and giving people an avenue to say, hey, this is some really cool stuff that I'm up to. Also, I'm a righteous human being. Sawdust Talk provides that, and we continue to do so.
Yeah, I mean, you guys asked me to come on, and I had such a good time that I volunteered to be like, hey, if you guys need to fill in to kind of help out. And it was probably like 2 weeks later, I was, filling in, and then it became just kind of like a regular rotation. So it was awesome. It's just nice to be able to just bring your friends in the community in and just share with other people why you find these people awesome and interesting. And that we just say, hey, this person you might not know, we've been chit-chatting, they're super cool, let's bring them on and just let them get to tell their story or, show their craft and their passion. And it's just a really great avenue without any sort of real barriers to kind of get through. Like you said, you don't have to have a huge follower account. You don't have to do anything in particular or, have any sort of backing behind you. It's just kind of like, hey, you're a person. I like I like what you do. I like your energy. I like talking with you. I think other people need to see how, see what I see in you and just kind of like use this platform for. So I think I like that about this whole situation.
Kimani, I feel like you're one of those that like people know you so well in this community. Like everyone knows who Kimani is, and like I've been seeing the last couple days, they're like, "Oh, let's get Kimani to 5,000 followers," and I'm like, "Wait, he doesn't have 5,000 followers. Like, how does he not have 5,000 followers?" Like, I feel like everybody knows who you are. Everybody, you're so like ingrained in our little community, and everyone loves you. So it. Yes, what you're saying, a number is just a number.
Some people love me. A lot of people tolerate me. Yeah, I'm, I full honesty, I go back and forth between like, hey, like the numbers, don't really matter because I've gotten to do and experience things and work with brands that you normally wouldn't see with people. People have like 20, 30,000 followers. So like the barriers that are sometimes there, I haven't always felt. There are some places that I've felt where it's like, hey, you got to have X number of followers to kind of, get where you're going. But other people have been like super cool who just like, I like you, I like your content, I like what you're doing. And, they accepted me and they wanted to work with me or whatever the case is. So, but, there is, I believe, but on the other side of it, there is like trying to reach that next level of, your account where you're like, hey, I want to expand my reach. I want to meet more people because over the past month, just kind of like posting stuff, I've gotten to add a lot more new people, and I'm having side conversations every day with people who are, and not even about woodworking. Like we have similar day jobs or similar life experiences, so we're really just talking about life stuff on the side. Like we have corporate jobs that we hate, and we're just kind of like chit chatting back and forth about that. But yeah, it's just like being able to expand that reach and talk to more people and just meet more new people and kind of just grow that overall experience is what I'm ultimately going for. And that hitting like 5K or whatever is just that next goal of just being like, hey, thank you for coming into the fold. I'm glad you stuck around for my shenanigans. I pretty much promise not to change anything I'm doing. So what you get today is exactly what you're going to get a year from now.
I like it.
In the chat, I love to tolerate you, Kimani.
Hey,
that's pretty accurate.
That's sweet. I like that.
I'm still deeply offended from Workbench Con last year where you would not let me have a sticker.
Braden, we spent practically every day at Workbench Con together. It was unfathomable to me that I had not given you a sticker already because everyone already had one. And so I just thought you were giving me a hard time for like 3 days. Like, so can I get a sticker now? Like, no, you have one. Like, I have a limited supply. You're not. And then after you got your little Festool Sustainer case to hold all your stickers, I was like, oh, you don't have one. My bad. So, yes.
I think you gave me like the second to last one you had. Like I thought
that's how much I care, Braden.
Pokemon trading card one to somebody else.
Yeah, and since then I've been terrible at sticker swaps. I definitely owe at least one Canadian and one other person a sticker. So I should have written that on my goal board to finish my sticker swaps. So this Friday, you heard it here on Sawdust Talk, I'm gonna mail out at least 2 more stickers.
I have to mail at least one because I've been called out on YouTube. I know, Alex, I'll get your sticker out at some point. I'm still sending out Christmas presents.
Oh.
Like I just printed shipping labels tonight for Christmas presents.
So
this close.
Speaking
I'm ahead of next year.
Christmas presents, Braden, do you want to make an announcement?
Yes. Here's my address if you guys want to send me a Christmas present. Oh, no, not that
That was so delayed. He's like, what?
Yeah. So, okay. So we're going to do some fun stuff because it's episode 100 and that's what you do on these sorts of things. But because we love our sponsors so much, we're going to give away stuff of theirs without paying money. Surf Prep has been awesome. They've given us one of their sanding LED lights that like help you sand your stuff to a glass-like finish, I think. Or you mount it on the front of your cutting board and it's like off-road lights. I'm not 100% sure. And then George Supply Co. has a 3-pack of CA glue and a $25 gift card. And then we're also going to throw in a bunch of other random stuff that we find and have like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Special prizes that'll just show up for our grand prize winners. So what everybody wants to do, if you want to be entered in to win this, and I'll put all this in the post, you're going to want to like the Sawdust Talk account, the Surf Prep account, and the George Supply account. And then you're going to comment on the post with this, I'm pointing at Kimani, but this podcast, when we post it tomorrow. You'll see all the details there. So you're going to get entered in to win a bunch of stuff. It's going to be a ton of fun. Merry Christmas.
Oh, you're getting called out in the chat there, Braden. You know,
Which one?
Instagram. Hannah, if you texted me about the light, I'd have all the details. Just saying. But I don't want to ruin any of the surprises, but because I have to leave soon to go do dad stuff, because that was the deal with the missus. And if any of you saw my stories, there are many deals with the missus in play right now. Out of my own private stash, I will be giving to the winner a 4-pack of Bessie clamps. Unopened, so never been used, fresh Bessie clamps out of my stash. So because like I said, I love this community. I love Sawdust Talk and everything you guys have done. I'm gonna, you can never have enough clamps, and so I'm gonna give these out to whoever the winner is, as long as you follow all the things Braden just said.
Ed's actually got a good point. Braden's cutoffs. Okay, yeah, I am. You know what, Ed? I know you're joking, but I'm going to do that. That's another thing. I'll throw that in. I have. Yeah.
I'll do a gallon Ziploc bag of shavings and a bottle of Tight Bond Quick and Thick for a DIY lumber kit.
I'll put together.
We just talked about that.
I'm going to put together a flat rate box of Dan scraps, which are actually good scraps. They're good cutting board scraps. Just whatever I can find.
Ooh, the Dunlap scraps.
That's right. Good Dan scrap. Not Braden scraps, Dan scraps. And
Jessie has partially burned used kitchen cabinets and hardware to give away. I don't think anybody wants that.
Yeah.
But I could come up with something. I'm sure I could.
So I wanted to talk to you about that. So you set fire to a whole kitchen. How did you pull that off? Because you're pretty big city. Like, how'd you? What was that?
Has cool traffic low with for a couple of months shortly thereafter. She also killed someone with a trident. Things got out of control.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that, Jessie.
There are no stoplights in my town.
Oh, really? I thought we were just kidding about that.
No, it is funny though, because that's becoming a very big joke that I'm like big city Jessie and I'm tattooed and doing all the things, and it's like, no, I literally live in the middle of nowhere and I can light half of my kitchen on fire, and if Karen, my neighbor Karen, doesn't call the fire department on me, then I'm good to go. So it's battling on me right now.
I'm still trying to process the fact that there's actually towns that don't actually have stoplights. That's still bananas to me.
I used to live in one when I was in Alaska. I mean, you probably say
yeah, but that's Alaska.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't have traffic lights. You just have mooses that stop traffic.
That is very true. Have I showed you that video? I haven't.
No, but I've seen the TV show Northern Exposure because I'm old.
It's all true. I literally have a video I've kept on my phone for at least 5 or 6 years of I'm literally a block away from my house. and there is a moose and a calf walking down the yellow line like they're doing a drug test, like straight down the line of the street, and then they like curve off and like go into the woods.
But are they really mooses or are they mises?
They're
Meese.
them's their city moose.
A meese once bit my sister. Did
Mm-hmm.
I get that reference?
I got that reference.
Well, Kimani, stoplights wouldn't work in Alaska anyway. Sled dogs are all colorblind, so.
Well, I mean, their owners aren't generally.
From what I know from the documentary Snow Dogs, the dogs are really in charge.
I mean,
The Disney documentary Snow Dogs?
I mean,
Yeah, the 2002
Cuba Gooding Jr. classic. Yeah. On everyone's DVD Christmas list.
only to be followed by the award-winning Snow Dogs 2.
Right. Keep on dogging. Yeah.
TJ, where are you at tonight? I feel like we need like a TJ rant for this episode to be like complete.
I mean, we can go on a rant a little bit. I was actually hoping that we could talk a little bit about projects for next year and what we're going to be working on too. The reason being is that I have a visual aid and I've mentioned it a couple of times this year. But
You're gonna make up more words.
This is the Stick Chair book by Christopher Schwartz, and it's like this beautiful illustrated love letter to woodworking and making chairs. And I've become kind of obsessed with the idea of milling a tree, then turning it into furniture, and then being able to stare at that furniture for like a really long time. I mean, I got 2 little boys in my house, so like it'll be nice for a month, but it'll be there for a lot longer. But yeah, so that's moving to the front of the priorities list for 24. I mean, I'm still going to be turning, and fingers crossed I might have an opportunity to sort of acquire the lathe of my dreams, maybe. And so we're not counting any of those chickens before they hatch, but there are opportunities available to me. So we'll see how that goes.
That's exciting right there.
Right?
How big is the lathe of your dreams?
It's like a transformer, dude. Like it's got a button on it and there's a worm gear and it starts going like, and it goes from like Optimus Prime into a semi truck, dude. It's awesome.
That's amazing. So we're gonna have some Transformers and then also like a TJ of all trades year for you.
I mean, that would be optimal. I've got a potential commission work for the lady who boarded my dog this autumn. Wants me to make an epoxy table, and I hear that if you want to have 5,000 followers, you just document the build of an epoxy table. So we'll see how bad of a job I do turning the camera on when I'm trying to do stuff.
That's your problem.
That's what I've been doing wrong. I just make the small
Kimani.
things. I need to make the big table.
So we'll see how that goes. But I've won a couple of Instagram contests, and Black Friday was really good to me in terms of like buying table resin. So I'm sitting on like 10 or 12 gallons of epoxy. So we'll see how a big pour goes. That could be kind of fun. Yeah.
That's something to fill like one child swimming pool.
Well, if you stick your toe in it and make sure it's safe, right?
There he goes with that toe again.
I'm telling you.
Keep your toe out of stuff.
I just love how TJ says epoxy.
Epoxy.
Oh.
Epoxy.
He's got that
Epoxy.
Wobie. He's got that Wobie speech.
I mean, I guess so. What do you draw with crayons? Do you take tours of factories? Do you pour water out of pitchers? What's going on here? Don't mock the way that I speak. Do you have a belly button instead of a belly button?
Button.
Yeah, there's two T's. They had butt each other. It's a belly button.
A belly baton.
Ed put a question in the chat. Are there any guests you aim to have on the show in 2024? I found one today. Well, not found one, but I know of one that I want. For those who don't know, Stephanie from Uncommon Outpost. She is one of the faces of Wall Control and Renovation Hunters, and she's just an overall purple-haired, wonderful human being. So I'm putting out the request for her to join the show coming up soon. So that and who else? I haven't looked for any other people. I'm sure if I sat down and thought about it, there would be some other people. I know some people we've talked about. I don't know if we want to share that yet and keep that a secret, but other people we've talked about. But yeah, Steph is super awesome. So that's my next up to add to the roster to get on the show.
I'd like to get Rebecca DeGroot onto the show. Speaking of ladies with funky purple hair, she and I competed in a contest through the Royal Order a little bit before Christmas, and we had some chat back and forth. And she's cool as heck, and she actually introduced me to a local pro here in town, and sort of greased the meeting to hang out with him for a couple of hours. So she does such funky stuff, and she's a really, really cool person.
Yeah,
so
I've been watching
really
her.
Fun to get Rebecca on here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I think it would be fun personally because we have these brands that we're like, it's like Steph is a great example. We're like, Steph, Wall Control. Like, we have these face to the name people, but there is like other people behind these brands that I think would be fun to pull out and get them on the show.
Uh-oh.
Wait.
I mean, like, for instance, Skylar.
Junior or senior?
I mean,
there's so many Skylars.
Well, I don't know if Skylar Jr. would come on a podcast with me after what I did to him at WorkbenchCon last year, but seniors, he's wonderful. They're all great.
What did you do at WorkbenchCon last year?
I'm just kidding. It wasn't horrible. I just didn't know who he was, and he was wearing the shirt, and so I asked him who he was, and yeah.
Did you tell him, do you know who I am?
No, I didn't say anything like that.
I'm Surf Prep.
It was just funny how I kind of like pulled from him as like he was there with this brand and I didn't know that he was there with them. So that was my introduction to Skylar Jr. But it's a funny story to tell. It's been told a couple times, I think.
Yeah. I think Dave from Walrus Oil actually was another one of my favorite episodes. He might have been just a scotch over a year ago that he came on. But yeah, having some of the brand ambassadors and the brand owners and the people that are reaching out has been really fun, Jessie. I think you're cooking with gas there. Let's make some of those happen.
Yeah.
What about
I mean, like, well, you think about like even Total Boat. I mean, who do you think of when you think of Total Boat?
Kristen.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
There's some fun. There's some fun people there.
Cheryl.
I hear Total Boat, and my first thought is Keith Johnston. Total Boat, baby.
I mean, that works too.
So, well, I have to run to go do dad things because for those who don't know, I have two adorable little girls, and one of them does not like to go to bed unless I am held captive. So, I'm
Before you go, Kimani, tell us a project you're going to work on this next year.
Oh, I want to build my first desk. So I want to build my office desk, which would move me from this room to the main room. That'll allow me to do like all my work from home stuff and have like a dedicated rig for like podcasting and all that other kind of stuff and video editing. So I have a couple of ideas about how I want to do that, but I've decided on a sit stand desk. I just got to decide on how I want to do the materials and the drawers and stuff. But that's my biggest mental project right now. But on the smaller side, I want to do my first chessboard. I'm going to do that 2 ways. And I want to, I don't know, I just want to experiment. But yeah, the chessboard, this is going to be one gift for a friend and one just to experiment with epoxy. And
epoxy.
Epoxy.
Where did you guys get epoxy?
So, excuse me.
It's a long E.
So yes, and then I'm going to have a child independence project. Morgan and I are working on that, so it's going to be a collab coming later this year, where our children leave us alone so we can do adult things. So be on the lookout for that.
Child independence project sounds like you're just going to take one of your kids and drop them off in the woods or something like that.
Have you heard the word yeet before?
This thing's broken.
Yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, big. The desk is big, and some other little house projects. But if anybody saw my story, I'm going to be, things that aren't listed, they're going to go on my count my wins board and celebrate my wins. So yeah, that's going to be my big thing this year, is all the random stuff I put on there so when I circle up at the end of the year and we have episode 200, I'll be able to say, hey, a lot of stuff happened that I didn't plan on, but it's been awesome. I know that's not the end of the year. I'm just don't math me. It's late. Don't math me.
Go be a daddy.
All right, leave your purple light here because we
cribbage
like it.
board. You got it. I got you. You're covered. So send me messages. We'll make it happen.
Perfect. Go be a daddy.
Well,
See you later, Kimani.
We'll be here to cheer you on with all those wins at the end of the year.
I appreciate that. I'll be in the chat talking to everybody while I'm trying to convince her to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So, later, everybody. Thank you for joining 100. And remember, enter the giveaway. Good things happening.
Okay,
bye. Okay, somebody that I want to get on the podcast.
Yes.
I have been DMing Nick Offerman every single week for the last 2 months. I'm going to do it every single week until somebody tells me no.
Like creepy status or oh dear God.
Hey Nick, please be my bestie. Come on our podcast. No, just it hasn't been every week. It hasn't been weird, but it sounded more fun that way. But
let's start shipping him dark beers and bribing him.
I think so. I think that's what we should do. That's what works with just about everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I got a barrel-aged stout that is divine, and the end of it is dipped in wax and has pretty labels and stuff. We'll make a pretty box for it on your CNC using fancy wood, and
I feel like somebody like Nick Offerman, you have to hand make it. I feel like you can't use a machine.
All right, I'll turn the inside of a log with threads so that we can screw it together, and he'll think we mailed him a log, but there will be beer inside.
Ha! There's one beer can. That's all we could fit.
My brain's kind of spinning now too, because I'm thinking of people that I want to actually have a real life conversation with. It's kind of fun. I like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be off DMing people in the middle of the night tonight, and they're going to be like, who, what?
Please come on our podcast.
We haven't discussed what you're going to be working on in 2024. What is your white whale, your great white buffalo?
I want to. Mine is less of a single project, and it's more of a state of mind, state of shop. So 3 years ago is when I started really getting into woodworking. Last year we moved so that I could get the bigger shop and I've been for the last year building out the shop, and I've been adding tools, and I've been trying to build like cabinets and like arranging it how I want. But the number one complaint that I've had pretty much every single week is it's utter chaos in here. I have no workflow. I don't know where, like, I kind of know where stuff is, but like it's just my shop is just it's a great headspace place for me, but it's a bad vehicle for that headspace right now. And so like my number one goal, the number one thing that I want to do this year is I want to hit a point where I walk out to the shop and look, and like stuff is just, everything has a home. And I don't feel like I'm walking into chaos and just hoping I can find the tools I need for each job.
No, the secret is to get multiples of each one so you can lose one or two of them and then find them right when you need them.
That's the thing, though. Like, I'm literally, I have 6 tape measures, and I'm running out of them because I keep setting them down. I about had a mental break the other day because I couldn't find the cap to my Pika pencil, and I dropped it, and it snapped, and I couldn't sharpen it. Like, I didn't know where stuff was. It was chaos. It is chaos. So
we literally just talked about this. Don't put it down, put it away. And if you're going to put it down and not put it away, just make sure your entire shop floor is covered in wood shavings. Don't have to worry about it, and you can just go buy new stuff. Right,
no,
TJ?
you buy safety orange, safety pink, safety green, shop carpenter pencils, what have you, right? And so that everything else can be covered in that thin layer of dust, but you can find the pencils because they
are bright enough.
That's the thing, though. Like, I can't be finished with something and put it away because nothing technically has a home. So, like, I have been going gangbusters, finishing out.
I gotta come to Omaha, and we're gonna go buy like $400 of Kaizen foam, and we're just gonna shadow board like your entire shop. We're gonna have a beer fueled Kaizen event.
I will post that on the internet. Anybody that likes organizing, we're going to pick a weekend and everybody just come out, and there will be pizza and beer as far as the eye can see. And we're just going to put things away.
Oh, I got a guy for that, man. I got a guy for that.
It's
my buddy
like
Q, my shop partner, one of his greatest joys is organizing stuff, and one of my greatest joys is having somebody else invent a system of organization and then teach me their wackadoo system of organization. Like, for a brief period of time, I had a drawer that was called things that this, right? And the thing is that anytime I needed something that this, I knew exactly where it was because I got taught that that's where it was, right? And a new room in the memory castle was formed, right? So
I have one of those. It's like things that go in a drill to make things like go into other things, and it's like bits and stuff. But it also has nails and staples and hand screwdrivers, and none of them match. But it's also like my hand tool drawer, so like channel locks get put in there. And
bro, you need more drawers.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a ton of drawers. They're all over the place.
Unacceptable.
They're everywhere.
Okay, fine. Then I'll turn you a bunch of 4-inch bowls, and we'll organize your drawers with bowls.
He doesn't get any of your little bowls till I get a little bowl, okay?
My brother and his husband were hitting me up for tiny bowls while they were in town also. It was the cutest thing. They're making custom charcuterie boards up in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Like, it's sort of like a little fun side hustle. And they want like tiny 3 and 4 inch like baby ramekins off the lathe. And I was like, oh, it's so cute.
I know, but you said you would make me a tiny ramekin. You can't offer him tiny ramekins before I get mine.
Okay, I'm not Jessie, we'll get you a ramekin too. And I'll put like a drive-through kids meal toy in it and ship it up to you. So you can have like itty-bitty Skeletor and a ramekin. It'll be adorable.
Thank you. You're the best.
But yeah, that's like my white goal, like my white whale project for the year, because to me it's like it is as close to unobtainable as Moby Dick.
No, that's like me having real dust collection in my shop, not a flexible hose and a series of tripods, right?
Hopes and dreams. But yeah, and then I mean, there's furniture and stuff I want to build, but that's the white whale.
Do you wanna talk about some of the secret things and stuff that might happen this year? They might not happen this year, but we've talked about it enough times that like maybe we should get serious and make some plans.
Yeah, let's do it. Go
like,
ahead, because I'm
like
not
the
100%
Midwest
sure.
Maker Meetup Sawdust Talk at my brewery co-ed social get together.
That's up in the air because that involves me driving. Whereas if we did in Omaha, I don't have to drive.
But mine's at a brewery.
That's true. That is a good point. Yeah, we've been kicking around. I feel like every time I talk to anybody, it's, hey, we should totally do one of those maker meetups, and the Midwest doesn't have one. So yeah, I think we might have to be the ones to pioneer that.
So do we do like a Midwest Sawdust Talk meetup and like a West Coast Sawdust Talk meetup?
No,
because, I mean,
you guys,
Kimani and I are over here.
You guys are just gonna have to come out. You guys have plenty of
If
meetups.
you coordinate it with the weekend that the Woodturner Symposium is in Seattle this year, so like I've got a pretty decent reason to be up in the Northwest. And I've hosteled out of Seattle before and had a blast. So, I'll rent a car and go chase Sam Squatches in the evergreens and the ferns out there.
Sam Squatches?
Sham Squatch.
Okay.
They're tall, big feet, hairy.
Sasquatches?
Sham Squatch.
Sam Squatch. Okay.
You're making up words again.
That's a new one for me.
But yeah, no, I think we could probably put together a weekend. My brewery is connected to 2 different event spaces. And so like with the same landlord. So like we can put together a pretty fun co-ed social get together. And if we want to have demos and stuff like that going on, we could probably make that happen also.
That'd be cool.
Would be fun.
That'd be really cool.
Like machinery demos, or do you mean like beer demos?
Yes.
Who wants to get tanked on craft beer and operate a lathe for the first time?
We could do one, then the other. Just
lathe
not beer
first, then beer.
Lathe first, then beer. Yes.
I think that this is the year that we need to do that. I think this is it. What are we thinking? June, July?
I mean, July could be fun.
July's my birthday month.
July is my birthday month. That's a really good reason then.
Boom. Dreams are being made.
Dreams.
I don't know what that was.
Jessie, where are you going to be in July? Correct answer is St. Louis.
Ooh, I've been to St. Louis before. I think that, yeah, as long as it's like smack dab in between, because there's that lull. You have like Workbench Con and then you have Maker Camp. So it's got to be something like smack dab in between there where you get to like see your buddies and like, have that.
Yeah, and the weather in St. Louis at the end of July is so gnarly. Walking around is like going to a Bikram yoga class. It's awesome.
I'll bring the baby powder.
Yeah, for real. You're just going to like keep a little travel gold bond in your purse. Make sure that you keep the friction low. I got you.
So you're not all chafing. Yeah, that sounds lovely.
But yeah, a lot of air conditioning in the brewery. It's nice and cool. We're also dog friendly too. So if you don't want to go inside too much, we've got a great big patio. I don't talk about the brewery a lot on the show. We don't really talk about woodworking, but it's funny how these things overlap.
Mm-hmm.
And since it's right.
I'm sorry, you're using the brewery to get your woodworking friends to come see you. So, I mean, I think it works.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got a face for radio anyway. So, like, we bribe them with beer. And remember, the more you drink, the more fun I am to be around.
I mean, I think you're great to listen to.
I have my moments. Modesty is my most endearing characteristic, boys and girls.
Easily the most modest person I've ever met.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll find a way to make that happen and keep it as air conditioned as possible. And who knows? Maybe we'll convince Stone to show up and have him set up his goodies. He's got new lasers and stuff to play with. I don't know.
I bet we could get the surf prep team out there.
Yeah,
It's
Beaver
exactly
Supply Co.
like
has a warehouse here in St. Louis also, and so they're Saw Stop and Festool reps. I bet they'd come out and set up a booth too. They're pretty fun.
Heard it here first, folks. July, St. Louis. Put it on your calendars. Just the whole month.
The whole month. We'll
Just
come
the
up with
whole month.
details later.
It's my month. I do what I want, and what I want is for all of you to come hang out with us and drink beer after playing with tools.
So what else should we work on this year? Personal podcasts? What are your big things that you're going to do?
I am ashamed to admit that I think we have to at least push publishing on TikTok. It's not something that like I'm super enthused about, but I think from like a business standpoint, it's becoming kind of mandatory for short form videos that generate money. You do kind of have to, from a business standpoint, go where they're still paying you. And that makes me a little bit sad because I'm too old to understand the appeal of TikTok. I figured that out recently. It doesn't make sense to me. But also when I go near or into a Hot Topic store in a mall, I don't get any of the jokes anymore. And that's how I know I'm old also. Like I don't know what anything on the shirts is. There's your rant, Jessie. Are you happy?
I love that. I'm relishing in it. So I feel like there's portions of this show that could not be aired other places that would do fantastic on TikTok.
I
I
think
would
she just
love to hear-
volunteered to point out when those moments of the show happen.
I was going to say,
I
I'd
mean,
love to hear specifically what that means.
It's typically when TJ's on a rant. But see, no, hear me out. We let TJ go on a rant and go down a serious rabbit hole. And when he's down that rabbit hole, you film that and you put it on TikTok and it'll be amazing.
So it's kind of like drunk history, but it's sober wood dorking. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yes. I'm here for it.
Old man shouts at clouds.
Yeah.
Sawdust.
Yeah. Schneefing Sawdust with old man TJ. Yeah.
And playing with epoxy.
Dude,
Old
it's
man
a
TJ.
It is a long vowel. It is epoxy.
Epoxy. Okay.
Yes.
Epoxy. I will
It is.
remember that.
Old man TJ waves his spurtle at the sky.
My spurtle of doom.
I love that you just have the spurtle sitting right next to you.
Well, it's like it's on a little desk.
It's like Rage Against the Machine, except the machine is a spurtle.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
like,
we've only got,
waiting
3
for that
minutes
one
left of
little
the
thing
show.
where somebody says something and he'd be like, my spurtle. My spurtle.
So, what is the one thing that we need to make sure that we talk about before we wrap things up for tonight, boys and girls? Like, one, I think we need to double back and thank the viewers and thank the chat and thank people for the engagement. And it's not hard to stay motivated to do this because it kicks ass and it's fun, right? But like, at the same time, everybody who shows up and chimes in, and we get to see who's engaging and who's being cool. Like, thank you, right? Because it's tiny pushes and they all add up, and it makes us want to do it again and again and again. So I want to make sure that thank you makes it out tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean, the viewers that we have and the people that are commenting when we're live, that creates a lot of discussion that we've had about, hey, should we look at a more traditional podcast format where we record instead of doing it live, especially when Instagram was causing all of those problems. Like, that was something we talked about a lot. And the idea of getting rid of our community engagement, it was always just an immediate like roadblock to any discussion about getting rid of like our current format, which I think is really cool. We wouldn't do this without people listening and people wanting to be involved. And I mean, certainly without people wanting to come on and just gab with us for an hour. So yeah, I mean, I know that it's a lot of fun, and I know I speak for you guys and probably Kimani in just how much we appreciate everybody that's watching right now and everybody that watches later on the new, on Spotify and all the other stuff and listens and all the other things. And like, there's so many different ways that y'all engage with us. And we love that. It's fantastic. I think another thank you that, we definitely have to look at is, TJ, you've been here since pretty much the beginning, and there have been a lot of people that started Sawdust Talk and were involved with Sawdust Talk and got it to where it is now. And I mean, Sawdust Talk has been this really fluid type thing that has gone through a lot of different phases and a lot of different areas of growth, and a lot of people have put a lot of themselves into it, and I think that's really cool.
I say thank you back, right? That was a compliment. I'm confident it was, right? I didn't want to be like,
I was
no.
like, TJ's frozen.
No, thank you.
I did it.
Really sweet.
Speechless.
Yeah, I mean, I don't handle that kind of stuff really well. Again, it's my my modesty that's my most endearing characteristic, but it's so worth it. And I know that there's other people who could do it, right? Like, I'm sure. And I don't think that we do such a great job of it that nobody else wants to try. But I'm really glad that it's us that is doing it consistently. And that brings a lot of joy to me. So that's why I keep showing up.
Well, I mean, I have to like kind of echo that and be like, TJ, I think you're a kick in the pants. I think you're hilarious. And I love getting you on a roll. Like, it's like my favorite part of every show is when you go on a rant. And then Braden, I mean, you're just like the most lovable person. Everybody loves you. You're just like Kimani. You and Kimani kind of up here like, yeah, everybody knows us. Everybody loves us. Like, I don't know why you guys haven't blown up on Instagram, but it's coming. It's coming. But I'm just glad you guys let me hang out.
Well, I mean, I've met other people, and they're kind of like meh, but you I like.
Okay, thanks.
Slightly
like
above
too.
meh.
Yeah. No, you I like. Other people, meh.
Meh.
Yeah. All right, boys and girls, the time is now 10:01 p.m., and I bet all of you would really like for me to be the one to give a motivational quote and give you all a reason to open your shop door, make a mess, and get awesome. And I think, just going off the seat of my pants, because I just came up with this, I have no idea exactly where I want to go with this, but you need to remember, and one of the things that gets me through my shop door frequently is that just by going through the shop door, you're doing something that like 90% of the rest of the world is not even participating in, right? You don't even have to do a good job of whatever you're doing in there, but you're already unique the second that you stand there with intention, because the other 90% of the world just isn't, right? And like, cool, if you want to make sure that you've caught every single minute of every episode and know all the lore behind a story of fire and ice in the Game of Thrones, that's wonderful. That's a hobby too. But what we do when we make and we create, and then, oh my gosh, the act of giving then afterwards or selling, right? Unreal. And that's why we should be going through our shop doors. Let's get unique. Let's get awesome. Let's make a mess. And let's do another year of Sawdust Talk and meet some cool people.
Yes.
Speaking of awesome, we'd like to thank our awesome sponsors, Surf Prep and George Supply Co. You can find Sawdust Talk on all of your favorite podcast apps. Is that it?
I think so. We'll see you kids next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Exactly.
That's right. Okay, bye.
Bye.